Hi guys, Jeff's Reeftank here, updating my 300-gallon office tank. So you could probably tell from the main photo of this video, the huge bird's nest that I had here, light green. It's probably, I think it was 12 and a half inches when I took it out, before I took it out and measured it. But you saw the remnants of it pretty much died off when I dosed fluconazole to the tank, Reef Flux. Started to STN and then RTN, and actually didn't make it. So everything else in the tank is looking decent. I'm not sure what the cause was, but that bird's nest really didn't like the fluconazole treatment, so it's no longer in the tank. It was actually growing too fast anyway, so it was my largest colony here. It grew from a frag, so it was just taking up a lot of real estate. So as you could tell here, things have freed up a little bit. I put a couple more acros in its place, and I have a little more real estate now to start to spread out some of the other corals that are starting to grow a little faster than I expected. So even these plating Montes, they seem to be something that really grows fast in my tank. So I have to make sure to move them in places where they're not going to shade out other corals. So, but what's changed since the last update is, I'm not sure if you could tell, there is cyano, green cyano in the sand, some on the rocks I'll show you on the other side, but there's also this brownish algae that's on the rockscape. It does have bubbles on it, so I'm not sure exactly what that is. Hoping it's not dinos, but yeah, I've been raising my nutrients on the tank, feeding a little bit more as well, because I've always pretty much had zero nitrates, zero phosphates. So been raising it a little more, and it seems to definitely be helping with the coloration of the corals, like this guy here. It's turning a nice blue, teal blue. That thing was brown for the longest time, so it's really changing some of the coloration. Bacillopora is dying off of my tank. Actually, that's a good thing, because it's starting to spread all over the place. Like if you notice underneath this little frag here, right on the rock, it's just starting to grow at random places throughout the tank, and that's going to start to spread. I could tell, almost like the aptasia that I have going. Got a couple of big pieces of aptasia as well. So, but corals like this one really weren't colored up at all. So I think the increased nutrients has given it the corals a chance to show their true coloration. So I'm looking forward to seeing things settle in once I get rid of this cyano. So you can see it's on the overflow there, a lot on the pumps. So there's green, there is red, and I'll swing around to the other side so you can see some more. But this is a lot of it here. It's light green underneath that colony there. The other side. I've had dark green for a while as well, so you can see there, dark green cyano. So, but right now this is the newest thing that's on the rockscape. Not sure what it is, but yeah. So other than that, this is the other side where that big bird's nest was. So it opened up a couple of things. I placed this acro here, starting to grow and settle in. Everything else is coloring up. This has yet to color up. This is a big brown colony. It actually has an acro crab in it. Not sure if you guys see right in the middle there, that leg that just moved by. That came from Manhattan Corals in New York. So I got the colony with the crab, and it was a nice bright green when it was in the store. And ever since I had it in quarantine and put it into my main display, it's been brown ever since. So, but it's been changing the tint of the brown, getting a little darker. So I'm thinking that it's going to be coloring up pretty soon. So other than that, pretty much everything is the same. I did get, like I said, get rid of a couple of frags, but I have two new additions to the tank. Two pyramid butterflies. So they just got put into the tank, I would say around 10-15 minutes ago. So they're still adjusting, and the only one that seems to have an issue with them is this powder blue. he's chasing him into that corner, so just showing his dominance. But other than that, he's been really mainly focused on my sailfin. For some reason, they're chasing each other, so I think they're part of the same family. But other than that, tank's been coming along pretty well. Like I said, coral's coloring up a little more. This guy's getting some color. It was pretty much white. But yeah, little by little. As far as my QT tanks, this middle one here has like 20 green chromis. So these guys are going to be replacing the rest of my green chromis that pretty much die out one by one in my main display. There's only 2 left now, so it's time to restock the green chromis in the tank and get a little flow. And also, he's hiding, but my square spot Antheus, the big one with the blue spot, he's hiding up in the corner. He had a parasite, intestinal parasite, so the waste that he was excreting was pretty much stringy and white, so I was able to catch him because he's a top dweller. He likes to swim on the top, so I was able to catch him pretty quickly once I fed. And I'm having time out there in the QT, and I'm treating that tank with Prazi. So hopefully another week or so, he should be all cured up, and put him back in the main display. So actually saw one of the other Antheus as well starting to change colors, so it's trying to become the dominant female, but I would imagine once I put that big girl back in, then she'll straighten out the hierarchy again. Yeah, so other than that, I did do one modification to my system. I added a dose, and it's mainly for my frag tank. So I did have this frag tank totally separate from my main display. I decided to add it on, and I'm using a dose. I'll show you guys that in a second, but I'm using the dose to basically just do water changes from the frag tank to the main display. So it's something that pretty much for the half of the day it's running intermittently between the main display and the frag tank. I'm hoping that keeps up with the parameters instead of dosing, because the dosing pump that I had before really just started failing, and I couldn't get connection to Wi-Fi and everything. It was a big pain in the butt. So yeah, so I'm hoping that's the case, and it's a little less of a transition from when I do have some frags here that I decide to put into the main display. The parameters of the water will be exactly the same, so I could pretty much just pick them up from here and put them into my main display. So that's about it for the update for this month, guys. Appreciate you guys following along. Definitely going to keep you posted on any changes with the system. I'm going to have to treat for cyano. Right cyano treatment is what I'm going to be doing next, and let's see how that goes, and keep you guys posted for the next updates. All right. Hope your tanks are doing well, and talk to you later, guys.